Brett Davern Show.
No, so she's backstage. It's in Germany, and I'm presenting. I think I was presenting I don't know what the award was, but I was presenting. It's kind of funny because you get to these things and you don't know what you're going to be doing.
Right.
And I'm presenting with 2 Victoria's Secret supermodels, 2 angels.
Oh, you poor thing.
And we were backstage. It was just during rehearsal.
Mm-hmm.
We're backstage behind the flats and everything,
Right.
And it's just rehearsal. There's no audience. There's no nothing. We're gonna go out there, read the prompter, whatever, work out the jokes,
Yeah.
And then right before we go out, they have the idea that the Victoria's Secret. One of them was Anne V.
Okay.
I can't remember the other one.
I don't know any of them by name.
Oh, Anne V, by the way, just a sweetheart, super nice, awesome, did not disappoint. And right before we go out, they have the idea. They're like, "Wait, Brett, why are we each standing on, why are we standing on one side of you? We should each be standing on one side of you." And I was like,
arm in arm.
I was like, "Ladies, listen, I'm not going to argue with you,
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden, Taylor Swift
Mm-hmm.
comes around the corner. And because she was performing, she was also going to be receiving a lot of awards.
Wait, you're not going to tell this story, are you?
Are we on the air right now?
It's the Brett Davern Show! Brought to you by Adobe Radio. In partnership with Nice Guy Digital.
Someday, Katie.
And
Someday.
recorded live, Brett. We're live.
Someday I'm going to tell that story. I don't care if you want me to or not.
We record live in North Hollywood, California. On today's episode, Brett has a goatee.
Looking like Doctor Strange's son.
We like it. Matadocious isn't sure. We're going to read you a bit of awesome fan mail, and it's Susto Day. We're going to talk to the lead singer, Justin Osborne, later in the show. Now let's get to the guy who's graduated high school 3 times.
That's me.
Your new best friend. Brett Davern!
Listen up, everybody. This is our show. Thank you for joining us live on Adobe Radio or subscribing on YouTube, TuneIn, or wherever you get your podcasts. Oh, you guys are out there preaching the gospel of the Brett Davern Show.
Preach, people, preach.
Oh, man, get out there. Proselytize to the people. Did I say that right? Thank you, everybody, for doing that. If you'd like to shout out a friend, shout at us or with us, it's all good. You can do it anytime. The phone number is 1-888-99-IDOBE. That's 1-888-994-3624. The email for the show is bdsfans@idobe.com. Or if you want to join the conversation instantly, you can put that address, bdsfans@idobe.com, into iMessage, where you normally enter a phone number, compose your text, press the send button, fire it off, and it ends up on this iPad in front of me. Just like, let's see, Becky did this morning.
What up, Becky?
Becky is listening across the pond.
Oh.
Jolly old England. And she says, hey, it's 3 p.m. here. I'm feeling a little bit sleepy, but I got Adobe Radio turned up super loud. Do you think my neighbors mind? ?
No.
Deadlines are looming, but I need to stay awake. Becky, we are here for you.
It's a good day to have it loud.
Thank you for texting in. She texted in pre-show. See, because you can text in anytime. Once again, that address is bdsfans@idobi.com. All right. Big show to get to today. TGIF. Happy Friday, everybody. It is Susto Day all day. You guys, listen, if you haven't got with the program yet with this band, whew, what are you smoking?
You're definitely not listening to the Brett Davern Show.
You guys, this band is the next big thing. These guys are amazing.
So good.
We are on this train so early, and Justin better not forget it someday. Because, man, speaking of preaching the gospel,
Woo.
wow. I love these guys. So Justin's going to be on the show a little bit later, and I'm excited to talk to him. We got a chance to talk to him briefly at a show they were doing here in LA at the Roxy. But you know how it is after a show. The dudes in the band are busy. And so, but he gave us a few minutes, and we got to talk to him, and it was fun.
Yeah.
But I'm excited to actually get to talk to him for a little bit on the show today. Good morning, Boy Wonder.
Good morning, Brett, you beautiful little, big man. Big, huge, big man.
Okay, that got weird real fast. And Matadocious.
Good morning, Brett and Brett's goatee.
And Katie LeClaire.
It is National Popcorn Day, Brett.
You're kidding.
I know. I was really excited to tell you that today.
I should have taken the day off of work. Really?
I think there's popcorn in the cabinets outside in the office.
Popcorn is this radio host's favorite thing on the planet. I love it so much. I love it all. I love movie theater popcorn. I like air popped popcorn. I like Jiffy Pop. I like microwave popcorn. I don't care.
Yep.
It's all good. I love it all. Oh, it's so good. You ever do the thing where you do microwave popcorn, but then instead of opening the bag on the end, you use scissors and you cut the bag on the side and it creates a bowl for you?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a pro move. That is a popcorn fan's pro move. You take it out of the microwave. Make sure you take it out on time. You don't want, well, actually, sometimes
I kind of like it a little crunchy.
Well, if you get like one or two that are slightly singed, then you're okay. But you got to be careful.
Yeah.
There is like a nanosecond that you need to pull it out.
Yep.
Because if it goes over that, burn city.
Yeah. Don't want that.
But anyway, you pull it out, and then instead of opening the end of the bag, you grab some scissors real quick. You just clip the little corner right by kind of where you open it on the end, and then you just cut yourself
down
a
the
square.
line.
Yeah, right down the edge of the bag, then across, then down the other edge, then across again.
Mm-hmm.
Pop that square out, and now you've got a bowl. And when this podcaster was in high school and could eat whatever he wanted, I would then lick that square because it's got all that buttery, salty goodness all over it.
You're gross.
Oh, it's delicious. And you like rub it on the top of the popcorn that's left in the bowl that you've created. Or
you could just melt butter and not be a weirdo.
Well, yeah, melt extra butter on top of microwave butter popcorn. That's a cry for help. That's what that is. That's not even a pro tip. That's a cry for help. Hey, speaking of pro tips, pro tip for everybody out there, Katie and I play music pre-show on Adobe Radio to make sure that the equipment's working and make sure we're on the air and all that kind of thing. So we usually play like 3 songs leading up to the show. So if you get to Adobe Radio early and you hear music playing, that's stuff that we've chosen to play on the air. Today, there were like 5 Susto songs.
Like 7.
And we played Far Out Feeling twice.
Because there's strings.
There's a string section in the song.
What the heck? Bands are amazing when they use strings.
This band is incredible. I love them. You can follow them on Twitter and Instagram and all social media at Susto. Israel Susto is spelled Susto. And speaking of Susto, this song is awesome. Okay. First song of the day. Friends, lovers, and ex-lovers, and whatever. But here's the thing, before you press play. The coolest thing about this song, now listen to the title, everybody. Friends and lovers and ex-lovers and whatever. And when you're at a live show and they're singing this song and the whole crowd is singing back, it's really funny to look around the room and see all the people that are going, and whatever. And then see the date that they're standing next to just go like, what? I thought we were something. Or just go, or they're saying whatever too. And they're clearly all just, everybody there is just whatever. This is Friends and Lovers and Ex-Lovers and Whatever by Susto. Sing along, everybody.
lovers or whatever.
Thank you for watching on YouTube or listening to the podcast version of The Brett Davern Show. If you were listening live on Adobe Radio, you'd be hearing real music right now, instead of this message and whatever song this is. Sometimes the rules just won't let us play real music on YouTube or the podcast. It's not a big deal. Just putting it out there. Back with more show in a second.
Captain, incoming message.
Hey guys, my name is Anna. I just started watching your show on YouTube. Then I realized when I was on YouTube, I'm like, oh, I should watch it. Then I saw all 50 shows were there, and I decided to binge watch all of them. So I'd watch like 8 or 10 episodes a day. They're so much fun. Katie, Daphne was such an amazing character. Switch to Birth was one of my favorite shows. Such a great show. Loved it. I was bummed when it ended. Brett, I loved Awkward so much too. It was a fun show. I watched it live when a new episode came out. I was always Team Jake. Also bummed it ended so soon. Oh, also I'm from Washington State too, but more central Washington. You've probably never been there. City boy. I'm also a Seahawks fan. Go Hawks! Anyway, keep it up. I'm going to be watching all your shows on YouTube since I'm all caught up. And I like that it's not a serious show, that it's light and fun. The coffee rant was my favorite episode. Anyway, you guys are awesome. P.S. Boy Wonder is so cute. Thanks, Anna. You can email the show anytime at bdsfans@idobi.com. That's BDSFANS at IDOBI.com.
Oh, that was amazing. What's her name?
Anna?
Anna.
A-N-A.
Anna or Anna?
Yeah.
A-N-A?
A-N-A.
I think that's Anna. Whatever.
I don't know.
Hey, Anna. Listen up, okay? Your boy's been to Central Washington. My brother was a Central Washington Wildcat. All right? Ellensburg, the rodeo, I've been there, okay? So I don't know where you're at. I don't know if you're in Yakima or Walla Walla or Enumclaw or Ellensburg, or maybe you're up in the Okanagan Highlands. I'm not sure. But I've been there. All right?
Yikes.
City boy.
There's a lot of
What?
silly names.
Yeah, I know. Washington's full of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Not silly, but like fun.
pretty great.
Pretty great.
Pretty great. I've been out to Pullman and Spokane and Cheney.
Spokane. Everybody's heard of Spokane.
Everywhere in between. So, all right, I've been there. Okay, just saying. But by the way, Anna is hilarious because on Twitter she has been sort of like live tweeting her catch up on the show.
I love it.
So she'll just like comment on something she's been seeing on the episode and then write like episode 49. So she's like, Brett, you're way off. I disagree completely. Episode 49. It's hilarious. And watching her catch up in the last 2 weeks has been like one of the most fun things I've done on Twitter in a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been great. Oh, man.
The coffee rant.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
Update on the coffee rant. Adobe buys the coffee now.
They do buy the coffee now. And when it comes, all the pods are in their own individual little box.
Isn't it nice?
So it's not all just willy-nilly in there. Oh, it's calmed me down quite a bit. The best thing is about doing this show, and now that we're almost 60 episodes into the new version of the show, it's really starting to the engagement and the feedback that we're getting is really starting to take off, and it's the most fun thing about doing the show.
I thought your producer was the most fun thing about the show.
Anyway, like I was saying, the most fun thing about the show is the fan engagement, and no, it's been great. It's really been great. And if you're sitting out there and you're listening and you haven't hit us up on Twitter or sent a text in or called or emailed or anything, that's fine. But just do it. Just have some fun with it. Like, just fire off a text. I can hear some people, or I can feel some people sitting there being like, I don't know what to say. I don't know, and whatever. Just go for it. Like, take a risk. Jump on out there. Somebody in the 920. The 920 texted in during the break and said, "Don't worry, Brett. I do the same thing with licking the popcorn bag." See? That's all you got to do. Just fire off a text. It's fun.
I don't know. I don't know if that's a healthy choice.
You can't do it? You haven't done it?
No, I don't. No.
The 44 checks in, says that we're distracting her with all this talk about popcorn.
Mm.
Yeah.
Pop a bag. It's National Popcorn
Pop
Day.
a bag, cut the top off, and you got a bowl. That is a pro tip.
It's not the top off. You're cutting the side off.
That's, yeah, more accurate. That's true. Definitely. What other pro tips, Katie?
Regarding popcorn?
I don't know, just in general in life. Oh, I got another pro tip about popcorn.
What?
If you're making at-home popcorn, I do it in a pot, right? Like on the stove.
Okay.
Like I just
A little bit of oil in there.
little bit of oil, throw the popcorn seeds in there, put a lid on it, make sure to shake it every once in a while, pops up. You know what's a lot of fun? When you add too much popcorn and then the
overflows
the
a little bit.
lid, what starts to push the lid off, which is a
Yeah.
lot of fun. So you do that. Well, it's
So
just,
much fun.
It's just like I don't know. It feels like you're in a movie it's like a cartoon popcorn.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway, then you melt a little bit of butter, right, to drizzle over the top, real butter, and then just a little though. Don't go crazy. But then the pro tip for you is you want to put some salt on there, right? Take your salt, throw it in a spice grinder,
Oh, extra fine.
pulse it a couple times. Now you've got powdered salt, coats the kernels better.
You can purchase that salt at the store. It's called popcorn salt.
No, I know, but who's got popcorn salt laying around? Or it's a kind of a, yeah, it's more, it's
an
a little bit of an
unnecessary
exotic
expense.
item.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody's got salt laying around. Just throw some salt. Well, who's got a spice grinder? You should have a spice grinder.
Or a coffee grinder.
Well, that's what I am calling a spice grinder. You buy a second coffee grinder and then just keep it and use it for
Specifically
your
popcorn. But
spices.
purchasing popcorn salt is... You've purchased another appliance at that point.
Well, yeah, but I use it for all kinds of spices all the time.
Fancy pants.
What?
I support it.
Throwing a bunch of dry seasonings into a coffee grinder and pulsing it a few times is the best thing in the world.
Yeah.
It's my favorite.
Do you buy the mustard seeds whole and then powder them yourself?
What do you think? I'm an amateur? All right. You know what? This whole episode, I'm so excited when the breaks come because it's all just Susto all the time.
I know.
We got to ask him what Susto means.
Yeah.
I actually know what it means, but I don't want to spoil it. I want him to say it because I looked it up. It's a Spanish word. We'll get Justin to explain it. All right. Here's more Susto. Oh, this is a good one. This is Dream Girl by Susto.
Thank you for watching on YouTube or for listening to the podcast version of our show. We love you. If you were listening live on Adobe Radio, you'd be hearing real music right now instead of this message. Sometimes rules don't allow us to play that kind of stuff on YouTube or on the podcast. Just putting it out there. Back with more show in a few seconds.
Keep up with all things Brett Davern Show on Twitter. At Brett Davern Show, IW Radio.
Katie's life just flashed before her eyes.
It was rough.
That was amazing. That was amazing. I asked Katie to spin the computer monitor towards me a little bit, and so she reached over and grabbed it with her right hand, but on the back side of it is the power button, just for the monitor, not for the computer. So when she reached over and touched the screen just went black. And you guys, the breaks are always in fast forward on YouTube, so you won't be able to catch it probably, but the look of fear that came over your face was the realest thing I've seen in a long time. That was amazing. Ashley's checking in on the text line, and she says that you announcing the national holiday every day is one of her favorite things in life.
Oh, Ashley, I love you.
Do you want to tell the origin story of the national holiday thing? Like why we do that? Why you do that?
Well, it was
we've-
our
we've-
first argument.
Well, we've kind of briefly mentioned it on the show before, but I don't think we've ever really actually gotten into it.
Yeah, sure.
It was our first argument.
It really was. It was the second day I knew you.
It was our first fight.
Yeah.
Second day you knew me. Doesn't take long knowing Brett Davern to have your first argument.
Jump in with a big old fist fight.
And or fight. It's usually me just yelling about, the proper way to cut toast or something. But this one,
We got heated.
go ahead.
We didn't really know each other. So we're in Atlanta. We're in Buford, Georgia, shooting Party Boat, and like, it was the first night we went to some tiny little rinky bar. The second night we go to something that's a Twisted Tavern.
Mm-hmm. That one was actually in a shopping center.
It was. And there was the motorcycles afterward. Anyway.
Oh, I remember.
Yeah. Whew. So we're at this bar. Pretty much the whole cast came that night.
Mm-hmm.
And on one side of the big long table, Brett and I were screaming at each other about...
Well, we were sitting across from each other.
Well, yeah.
And we were at the end of the table, sitting across from each other. And yeah, the music was pretty loud in there, though. That was why the volume, I think.
So do you think that the volume, because the place was loud, contributed to us yelling at each other, which contributed to the, like, heated argument?
Yeah, probably.
Like, we would have just had a discussion, but instead it turned into an argument because we had to be loud anyway?
Maybe.
All right, so here's what happened, though. He says, like, national holidays are stupid.
Well, because you said something about, you were like, did everyone know it's National Reese's...
I like that this is my voice that you've given me.
Did everyone know that it's National Reese's Pieces Peanut Butter Cup Day? And I was
It
like,
wasn't.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Or something.
All right.
Isn't that what happened?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then
That
you
wasn't
were
the
like...
day, but, like, fine.
Well,
All right, so, and then what? And then I what?
no, I don't know. I think I just said, like, kind of what I've said on this show before, of just, like, who makes these up, and that's so dumb, and, like, who's the person that looks that up every day, and that's just so silly. Like, there's more important things in life. Like, these are just fake things that don't mean anything. And then you were like, excuse me, and then we just had an argument about it, right?
Mm-hmm. And my position is that it makes people happy.
Right, and I was like...
And if it keeps you... My position is this. If you're going through life, and, I mean, I know it's, like, silly and dumb and doesn't really mean anything, but if you're going through life and you're having a tough time,
Mm-hmm.
and you think, I love popcorn. I love popcorn so much.
Uh-huh.
I can't wait for National Popcorn Blueberry Pancake Peking Duck Day.
Okay.
Then you go like, oh, I'm going to have so many blueberry pancakes on Friday.
Oh,
And
so
then
now you're saying, wait, now
This
we're
was-
about to get in our second argument about this same subject.
This was my position that night, too.
So you're saying that you look it up in advance and then look forward to that day? You know you can have popcorn any day you want.
I think it brings people together, Brett.
Okay. All right. Yeah. I'm fighting against the urge to argue with you so bad.
What? Say it. I'll defend my position. What?
I got nothing. They're fun. I like them now. You brought me full circle. The point is that it was one of those things where when you meet someone and you've only known them for like 48 hours, but then you kind of get into a discussion or, I mean, argument, yes, but not like an argument, but like a debate, a healthy debate over like, are these holidays real things, or are these just time sucks and time wasters that we're all just sort of getting bogged down with, and they don't matter anyway, and who's making them up in the first place? And this
How
whole
is it
thing's
a
just
time
kinda silly.
waster?
Hold on, I'm saying that was kind of the debate. Yes, exactly. That's the debate. You take one side, I take the other, and that was like the subject of the debate. And I think it was I learned a lot actually from this moment, because I just took the other side, because sometimes I just like to do that just because it's fun. And then we had a whole discussion about it. And you were like, you made some really great points about like, whatever, it makes people happy, and like, shut up, and you don't have to be such an old curmudgeon all the time. And then the conversation just sort of ended. But by the way, the conversation lasted the entire time we were hanging out. And we just sort of started ignoring everybody else in the cast that was there. And then the conversation continued in the rental cars back to the hotel. And then the next day, if you remember, I came up to you and I was like, hey, I was thinking about that conversation last night, and I think you're right. They're kind of cool, and that's fine. And it was a real lesson for me in life to, like, listen and take in the other person's position and let your own notions and preconceived things that you have coming into a discussion be okay if the other person makes a good enough argument to change your mind. And that was the lesson I learned in that moment, was that A, you're not right all the time, which is fine, and I think I already knew that. but be open enough to let the other person change your mind. So you taught me a life lesson. And then when we came here and we started doing this show, I was like, it'd be funny if you announced whatever the holiday is every day, because that's sort of the origin of the Brett and Katie friendship.
Yeah. I got a pro tip for you.
Okay.
You know when you buy eggs
Of course.
and they're sitting in your fridge for a little while?
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, oh man, I would like some. I put an egg on everything. A runny yolk is God's gift to man, to food. I love it. I love a runny yolk. But sometimes you don't know if the eggs are still good or not.
Mm-hmm.
You get yourself. I feel like you right now. You get yourself. I got a pen in my hand, and you get yourself a.
You get yourself is a very Brett Davern thing to say.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
You get yourself like a tall glass of water. Okay.
Okay.
You fill it up. You put the egg in the glass.
Uh-huh.
And if it sinks to the bottom and goes horizontal, good to eat.
Really?
If it sinks to the bottom and stays vertical, it's good to eat, but you should like finish that pack.
Really?
If it floats to the top,
No bueno?
don't eat that huevo. No bueno, no huevo.
Really?
Yeah. Because air sinks, the shell is porous, so air gets into the shell, and there's air in the shell, and it floats to the top.
Interesting.
Science. Pro tip.
I got a question for everybody out there. Do you leave the butter dish on the
Oh
counter
my God.
all the time
You're disgusting.
in your kitchen? Or do you keep the butter in the refrigerator in a dish all the time? And then deal with hard butter.
Do you want another pro tip?
How does it work? No, I'm seriously asking people out there because I have a butter dish, just like a glass butter dish with a glass top on it, and I take this stick of butter and I put it on the glass dish, and then the glass dish just sits on the counter, and I just take slices off of it whenever I need,
And it's
or
gross.
pieces off of it whenever I need. It doesn't get gross. It's not.
Look at this. Look at this face
Hold on.
looking at you.
I don't. Boy Wonder looks at me like that all the time. Listen, I don't care. The point is that it's not going to be sitting there long enough to really go bad because you use it when cooking or on bread or on the aforementioned melted with the popcorn, and so it's just always there for you. That's the whole thing. So if you're worried about it going bad, you don't have to worry about it. It's not going to be sitting there long enough.
Brett,
What?
I have to interrupt you.
Okay.
If the butter is not sitting there long enough to go bad, you're using way too much butter.
Well. Okay.
And I don't think I could ever say that because I love butter.
Fair enough.
But,
How do you store your butter?
Keep it in the fridge.
well, I have, that like square plastic butter box of butter that's not really butter.
Oh,
I don't
Like
have
you can't
sticks of-
believe that
yeah,
it's not?
but it's like Trader
No.
Joe's like vegan butter, but it tastes like butter.
That's not butter.
I know. Well, yeah.
No, that's it. Mute. He's muted. That's it. Forget it. He wants to enter a butter conversation. He doesn't even use butter.
It's gross, Brett. I'm telling you, it's gross. There are ways.
Leaving it on the counter is gross?
Yes, it is.
I grew up my entire life. There's a butter dish sitting next to my parents' stove. It's on the counter. It's always there. There's always a stick of butter in it.
All right,
My whole life.
safe
I'm
food.
fine. I've never been sick. Everything's fine. Don't worry about it.
Safe food storage laws, practices. I don't know. It's not safe. It's not good for you.
So
it's a dairy.
So you put it in the fridge and then have to deal with hard butter.
Okay,
all
but
the
let me
time.
give you another pro tip. If you want soft butter, Maddie agrees.
You put it in the fridge? Hold on.
I keep it on the counter.
What?
This is
Wait.
This is an argument that affects my marriage. Yeah.
You're gross.
Maddie's on team.
You're gross, Maddie.
I put a lid on it though.
Fine, it doesn't matter.
Maddie's on team real Christmas tree.
I am. I agree with Brett more than Katie, and that kind of freaks me out a little bit.
Me too. I thought we were friends. Here's the thing.
I want to
Bacteria.
know. We got to put a poll on Twitter. I think this is another. We found it. We found another one because the room is divided. There's 4 people sitting in here. It's two on two. 2 on 2.
I think the Twitter poll needs a third caveat though of
Now, hold
fake butter spread.
I want everyone to listen though. We're only talking about real butter. I'm not talking about country crock. I'm not talking about I can't believe it's not butter. And I'm not talking about ghee. And I'm not talking about whatever.
Okay, ghee is real
whatever
butter, Brett.
Weird stuff they're selling at Trader Joe's. I'm talking about real butter. That's what I'm talking about. Because obviously.
People have dietary needs, Brett.
What?
Some people can't eat dairy.
All right, but listen to me.
And ghee is a real butter alternative to a non-dairy
Oh, I did
situation.
not know that. Anyway, I have the alternative butter
Yeah, but-
because of the dairy thing. I love butter.
Oh, listen.
You're growling.
I'm just saying that in
Jeez.
the argument, if you're answering the poll out there on Twitter or anything, because I'm assuming that Matadocious is putting up a poll. If you're answering the poll, we're only talking about real butter. I don't want to hear that your ghee is in the fridge or your ghee sits on the counter. That's not what we're
Will
talking
you let
about.
me tell you my pro tip? Because you've
Wait, I
interrupted
want
me
to go back
every
to
time.
Blue Winter because he's unmuted for a second.
I got to take advantage of this opportunity.
Growing up, your parents probably had real butter, though.
Yes.
Was it on the counter or was it in the fridge?
In the fridge.
So you had to deal with hard butter every time you wanted to spread it on
Will
some
you
bread.
let me speak?
You know what,
True
bread?
or false?
Bread. You know what, bread?
True or false, you grew up dealing with hard butter?
I don't think the only time I've ever dealt with hard butter and it affected my being is when you go out to a restaurant and it's in that like metal silver,
gold wrapper? Yeah.
and you open it and you're like, I can't wait for this bread right now
Yeah.
with my dinner.
Yeah.
And you go and put it on and it's hard as a rock and
Yeah.
you have to wait 50 minutes.
And it sucks, doesn't it? And if you keep the butter on the counter, you never have to deal with
Will
I
it.
didn't have to do that at all.
Please let me talk. Because we have to go to break and we have to call Justin.
All right.
And you haven't let me make my point.
Hurry. Go.
Take a mason jar, which I know that you have 1,000 of in your kitchen cabinet.
I do.
Boil some water or heat some water up from the sink even.
Yeah.
It's fine. Make it real hot. Make the mason jar real hot. Put it upside down over however much butter you would like.
No.
While the
This
You're
is far
such
too
an
much work.
You're
This is far
such a
too much
brat.
work.
You are such a brat. You
I
don't even
just
let me
want
finish.
butter. I just want. No.
We have to go to break, so I'm playing the song right now.
I'm not gonna measure out my butter and then get a mason jar and then.
I'm playing the song.
This is Waves by Susto.
I'm so mad at you. No.
Thank you for watching on YouTube or listening to the podcast version of The Brett Davern Show. If you were listening live on Adobe Radio, you'd be hearing real music right now, instead of this message and whatever song this is. Sometimes the rules just won't let us play real music on YouTube or the podcast. It's not a big deal. Just putting it out there. Back with more show in a second.
Hello?
Is this Justin?
Yes, it is. How's it going?
Justin, it's Brett Davern from the Brett Davern Show. What's up, man?
I'm just hanging out, man. Thank you guys for calling me.
Of course, dude. Thank you so much for being on the show. Katie, say hi to Justin.
Hi, Justin.
Hi, Katie. How you doing?
Good.
Justin, we are live on the air right now, and we are having
Awesome.
a bit of a crazy morning here on the show because we are in a full-blown argument,
We just fought. Oh my God.
and we're going to need you to weigh in on this before we do anything else.
Yeah, well, I'm happy to help. Yeah,
Okay.
totally.
Now, I know that you're from South Carolina, right?
That's exactly right.
Okay.
Lots
so
of butter in the South.
A nice Southern boy.
Yeah.
I think he's going to have an answer for us.
Oh,
Now,
he-
Justin, when you were growing up or now that you are a full-blown adult, do you keep your butter? Now, we're talking about real butter here, not country crock, not
Not
you
the
know,
spread.
I can't believe it's not butter. We're talking about real butter. Would you
Yeah, real
keep
butter.
on the counter or do you put it in the fridge? Do you keep it out on the counter so it's just warm, you can use it any time, or do you keep it in the fridge?
What's the safe storing practices?
At my house, we keep it in the fridge.
That's right. That's right. Because you're not a crazy person.
No,
All
but,
right.
but I get the other side, and I have friends and family I think that opt for the leave it out. I
See,
think it's
so he's
supposed to be
sympathetic.
safe. It's just a preference, I think.
There is a dish that is designed to keep it so that you won't get
All right.
salmonella.
Yeah.
That's enough. All right. Well,
that's definitely a question for the ages, though. I'm glad you guys are trying to get to the bottom of it.
I have to tell you that on our text line here during the break, we had like 8 texts come in, and it's 4-4. And then in the studio, there's 4 of us, and it's 2-2. So it's split right down the middle.
Well, Justin just tipped the argument.
Katie, I think we've stumbled on one of the most pressing debates in America right now. I think that's what we've done.
Yep.
Justin's going down into his root cellar right now.
I'm like walking downstairs to make sure I'm right about that. Yeah.
He's gonna go check.
Wait, are you at home right now?
It's definitely in the fridge.
I love that you were diligent enough to check. Are you home right now?
Yeah, I am. I'm home for a few days. I was actually supposed to be in LA, but we had some weather issues in the Atlanta airport, so I'm getting a couple extra days at home, which I'm not going to complain about.
Where do you call home right now?
I live in Charleston, South Carolina, so I'm on the water, opposite side of you guys.
Beautiful. I still have not gotten to Charleston. I think I need to, though. I hear it's amazing.
It's great. You got to come visit. I'll show you all the great places to eat and hang out and the secret spots to go to the beach and stuff.
Deal. Consider it done. Let's go do there or let's go there and do a live show, Katie. That's what we should do.
Yeah, do a live show.
That'd be fun. Speaking of live shows and stuff, any tour dates? What's up with Susto right now? You guys touring around? You got some shows coming up? What's happening?
Yeah, so we kind of took the holidays off and are kind of wrapping up the time at home. We leave on Tuesday for Europe, so we'll be in Europe for like 2 months.
So cool.
And then we come. Yeah, so we're gonna go head first into the Nordic winter, but I think we'll be okay.
Where are you gonna be?
Well, it's all mostly, a lot of it's just in Scandinavia, but we're gonna be in the Netherlands first, and then we'll be in the UK for a week, and then we'll be in Germany for a few shows, and then we go to I think we have like 13 shows in Sweden, and then like 9 in Norway. So it's kind of.
How cool.
And that's all like in February, March, so it's going to be a bit cold for us South Carolinians, you know.
Cool. So if you're listening out there and you're over there, check out Susto on Twitter. It's at Susto is real. I'm sure you guys probably put up all the dates and where you'll be and how to get tickets and all that kind of stuff. So make sure you check them out. Justin, so I got to tell you, so Katie and I don't know if we got into this when we saw you at the Roxy out here in LA, but basically Katie and I and our good friend Bo were introduced to Susto while we were shooting a movie in and around the Atlanta area. We spent one crazy night in Athens, Georgia, and we partied. We were partying with some kids that go to UGA, and this one guy, Sam, we should give Sam a shout out.
What's up, Sam?
He was like, "Have you guys ever heard of this band Susto?" And we were like, "No." And he's like, "You got to check this out." And then he started playing it, and we were like, "This stuff is rad." And then we've been hooked ever since. And we've been playing a lot of it on the show, and we're just like massive fans, and I don't know. I don't know. I don't have a point. I'm just gushing. I don't have a point. I'm just gushing.
I'm so glad that we got connected that way.
I just love.
You said Sam is his name, right? I gotta look for Sam next time I'm in Athens.
And he's the one wearing short khaki shorts, and he looks like he should be leading a whitewater rapids trip in Colorado.
Yeah, he's great.
I'll be on the lookout. There might be several of those though. But.
Super good dude, but like,
if you see him, Justin, tell him it's okay to be all right.
What I love about it is you guys is just like the different mix and the different sounds almost that even sometimes song to song. I mean, we were playing Far Out Feeling this morning. It's got like a whole string section in there. And then some other songs have like some sort of electronica vibe to it. How do you classify Susto, Justin?
Oh man, I should have been able to answer that question when I started the band, to be honest. But I don't know. I think that's the thing about what we're doing. Is we're trying to keep it interesting and trying to fuse all of these different genres. Mm-hmm. I mean, I think at the base of it, it's just it's American rock and roll with a little bit of roots influences. Yeah. I mean, I am from the South, so you have that kind of shining through.
Sure.
But we like to. I come from like a punk background, and I love indie rock, and I also love reggae and all this stuff. So we just kind of, mix it all in there and try to make it at least sound cohesive. But
who did you?
It's fun to touch on different things.
Who did you grow up listening to?
Man, I was all over the place. Like my my dad kind of got me started on some of the like CCR and things like that, and Jim Croce. But then I was really into like pop punk and emo music. I was a big Taking Back Sunday fan, and but also like the early Green Day stuff. And then I found Bob Marley, and I've always been a fan of Bob Marley, just his message and everything. And then I was a big fan of '90s music, and I'm still, I'm just like a big music fan. I think that's why I love what I do so much, because I get to hear and see so many bands live and find new music, regularly. But, every Friday when albums come out, I'm just like combing through and looking for new things. And so I'm kind of all over the place. And I've been like that since I was a kid. I used to like listen to like Casey Kasem like countdown, and I would like record it on a cassette tape. I would press record when my favorite songs came on and like listen to them in my Walkman.
Yeah. Sure.
And sing along. I've just always been a fan, and there's not really one influence. It's just music,
Yeah,
and
totally.
I think being able to do that myself and bring that kind of energy to people it's really cool.
Yeah, it's awesome that you guys are able to do that with the band as well. I think when we first started listening, and when I start listening to anything, it's kind of like the music first. You just kind of like hearing the sounds, like actually just literally hearing the sounds that you guys are making and kind of falling in love with that. And then as I've been listening more and more, I'm getting into the lyrics and everything. And you guys there's a lot of talk about religion and substances, I notice. Where does all that come from? I mean, growing up in the South, did you grow up in a religious household, and then well, I don't know, talk about that a little, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I did, and I think I write the majority of the lyrics to our music. So like you kind of are getting a window into my mind and what's going on, like my story. It's all pretty confessional. And so I think, especially in the first couple of albums, I was really wrestling with like, kind of changing my religious views or dealing with the repercussions of that, because I did grow up in a really religious household. And when I kind of started changing my mind about some of the things I thought about the world and my faith, like, it caused rifts between my family and I, and it took time to figure out how to work around that. And a lot of that came out in the music, and also some of that led to some substance abuse on my end. I mean, I've always liked a good time, and I still do.
Yeah.
But, a few years back, kind of before I kind of had the band to honestly keep me a little bit straighter than I used to be, as far as, not going too hard.
Right.
I just found myself in some situations where I was, not really taking care of myself. And, I was with friends that we were all kind of going through that phase together. We were just kind of lost somewhere in our early to mid 20s, not really knowing what we're going to do with our lives, and just kind of trying to drown our sorrows. But it was fun. We had a good time, but you look back on those things,
well,
and you'd be like, man.
I think you hit on something there that's important that I'm always trying to say. It's like the band gave you, as it became more and more serious, gave you like a purpose and a direction and a focus,
an outlet,
and that can kind of help you out
Absolutely.
of some of that stuff. And I think that's an important message. That's really cool. I like that.
Yeah, I think it's kind of an interesting situation, like you said, because it's like the music, especially like on our first album, is a lot about not having any direction, and then just coincidentally, that's what gave me the direction. Just like channeling those feelings and that confusion into music ended up being creating its own path, and I've had a blast going down that path, and it's been really fun, and continuing to play and write music is something I want to do for the rest of my life. And
sure,
it's nice to have the opportunity.
Well, you will be, man. That stuff is awesome, and we're doing our best to spread the word about you guys, because we need more bands like you guys. I mean, just people that are out there playing live music. There's nothing like live music. If you're listening to the sound of my voice, go to a show. I don't even care who you go see. Just go see a live show, because there's nothing like that. And especially people playing instruments and stuff. I mean, it's so important, and I don't know, sometimes it can feel like we're losing it, and I hope we're not. And I love that you are out there doing it every day. It's awesome. So,
well, thank you, and thanks you guys for spreading the word. I really appreciate it. I'm glad we were able to connect somehow. The universe connected us via Athens, Georgia.
It's absolutely, it's absolutely our pleasure. Any plans for a new album or anything? You guys working on anything? Something coming out soon?
Yeah, we're definitely working on stuff. It's not going to come out very soon, just to be completely honest. We put out our last record about this time last year.
Okay.
So we kind of are still kind of on touring that. We're just, like I mentioned, getting to where it came out in Europe later, so we're kind of just switching over to touring in Europe more. But I've been writing a lot, been in the studio a lot. We have the beginnings of a new album, and I think I have a name for it, but I'm going to wait on that.
All right.
I'm not sure I'm going to announce that yet, but yeah, I'm excited about it. It's always, the great thing about music is just it keeps coming. You keep writing, you never stop. So it's like I'm excited to, it's been great, like putting And I'm Fine Today, which is our most recent album, out and touring around that. But I'm excited for the next one. It'll be fun.
Well, that just means you get to come back on the show and promote it when it comes out.
Absolutely.
All right. Cool. Well, we're going to hold you to that. We're going to go, just an announcement, everybody. We're going a little long today, but I don't care.
I don't either.
I'm having fun chatting. Well, I have the last question for you, and then we'll kind of get to the last thing that we always do with every guest on the show. But the last kind of Susto question is, I know what Susto means. I've looked it up. Actually, Sam in Athens, when he introduced us to the band, told us what it meant.
Yeah.
And then I looked it up to make sure he wasn't lying to me. But
I'm
Justin,
glad he knew. I'm glad people are doing their homework. That's great.
why don't I let you tell everybody out there what Susto means? Because it's such a unique name. Once again, everybody, it's spelled S-U-S-T-O. So if you're looking for them on Spotify or whatever, that's how to find them. But go for it, Justin. What does Susto mean? And why is that your band's name?
Well, Susto, if you speak Spanish, like Susto can be used colloquially, kind of just like meaning you scared me or like fright. But it kind of has these deeper undertones towards it can be like a full-fledged folk illness, to where I think the literal translation is when your soul is separated from your body, and it's something that kind of happens to you spiritually whenever you go through a traumatic situation or you're just like not feeling like yourself, and you're experiencing Susto. And so I learned about like the word and the concept of Susto whenever I was kind of writing the first songs for the band, and I was like, wow, that sounds like me, and how I feel. So it felt like a good thing to name the band and name the first album.
There you go. Let's do the last thing with you that we do with all of our guests. Now, if you're in studio, I have 2 note cards, and they each contain a different line of questioning. And usually I put them behind my back, and then the guest chooses a right hand or a left hand, and that's how we determine which line of questioning we go with. But because you've just committed on the air to coming back on again, I'm gonna save the purple card for you for another time. We'll go with the orange card for today. This line of questioning is called This or That. It's a bit of a rapid fire, and we'll just get your opinion on these things. So here we go. Justin, salty or sweet?
Both.
Cats or dogs?
I like dogs, but I'm a cat person. I have a cat. I have a little black cat, and she's awesome.
Pancakes or French toast?
Pancakes.
Beach house or mountain cabin?
Ooh, mountain cabin.
Hugger or handshaker?
Both.
Depends on the person, eh?
Maybe sometimes at the same
Yeah,
time.
it does.
You got a little bit of a bro hug. That's,
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanksgiving or the 4th of July?
Oh man, these are such hard ones. Like, I guess Thanksgiving. I love the 4th of July though.
Yeah, that is a tough one. Suit or sweatpants?
I'd say suit.
Pearl Jam or Nirvana?
Pearl Jam.
Yeah.
Oh, yes!
I love Nirvana too, though, but Pearl Jam just like, I don't know.
Me too, man. I grew up in Seattle. That's like a Sophie's choice for me, but if push came to shove, I think I roll with Pearl Jam. But everybody that comes in here says Nirvana. Have you noticed, Katie?
Yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, all right.
Yeah, I mean, I have a lot of respect and love for Nirvana. But,
That's all right.
Eddie Vedder gives me.
You can keep your butter in the fridge as long as you're listening to Pearl Jam.
Okay, thank you.
Are you living it up during the day, or are you all about the nightlife?
I'm kind of both. I like to live it up in the morning and in the wee hours too.
Pajamas are all natural?
I'm kind of in between. I'm like the boxers and no shirt kind of guy.
Okay. So half and half, I guess.
Yeah.
Dinner and a movie in theaters or take out and turn on the TV?
I think man, God, you guys are just playing to both sides of my personality. So it's like, I've been at home for a little while, so I think I'm going to take dinner at a movie in the theater right now.
Right.
Because
and
you
then,
gotta get out.
And then the most important one of these, one of the biggest first arguments we ever had on the show, which is why I now put this on the list. Do you prefer fake Christmas trees or real Christmas trees?
I'm a real thing kind of guy.
Boom. Yes. Nailed it. Oh, Justin, we're such big fans, man. Really, congratulations on all the success so far and the band and everything. And I just love what you guys are doing. I love your message. I love the spirit of the music and just love everything about you guys. And so, I don't know, just thank you for being on the show. Thanks for being a part of it.
We're really gushing, but it's all
Brett,
real.
Katie, thank you guys so much for having me on the show. It was really nice to meet you guys in LA, and I look forward to hanging again sometime. And thanks for having me on the show. I definitely want to come back, and I'm glad you guys found the music. Thanks for supporting it.
All right, man. Take it easy. Have a good one.
Enjoy Europe.
Yeah,
Stay
cheers,
warm.
you guys. Thank you. Bye, guys.
Wear a coat.
See you, dude.
Bye.
See ya.
That's a wrap, everybody. On another edition of the Brett Davern Show. Thank you out there for listening live on iDoby, subscribing on YouTube, or listening wherever you get your podcasts. If you like what you heard, just tell a friend.
Tell them.
That's it. It's that easy. Look, everybody, in all seriousness, hold on, let me get serious for a second. This show's free, okay? We don't charge you for tuning in at all. Whether you listen to it as a podcast, or as a YouTube video, or whether you're listening live on iDoby Radio. There's no subscription, there's no fee, there's no nothing. We come in here, we do this whole thing for free. All that we ask is that you recommend it to a friend. That's it. That's it. Just tell your friends. Hey, I listen to this show every morning and it's great. And they talk about... they almost punch each other in the face over butter.
Really hard-hitting issues, but Brett, you're so wrong.
Listen, guys, if we're ever going to seriously, if you love this show and you want us to keep doing it and you want us to keep doing it forever, you just got to tell your friends.
I just don't want you to die from salmonella poisoning.
Out for us. Help us out. Even if I get salmonella poisoning, there's got to be a medicine for that.
No, it's scary.
Say goodbye, producer Katie.
Goodbye. Put your butter in the fridge.
Katie Leclerc is on Twitter and Instagram at Katie Leclerc. Leclerc. And I'm on Twitter and Instagram at BDav. You can follow the show on any social media, including Facebook, at Brett Davern Show, or go to idoby.com for archived episodes, photos, and much, much more. Today's guest, Justin Osborne, can be found on Twitter at Susto is Real. That's SUSTOISREAL. And that's also them on Instagram and everything. These guys are awesome. Give them a follow. Go to their shows. Support live music and support real bands that are out there doing it, making original music and just in the trenches. That was our show. Once again, for Boy Wonder and Matt Adocious and Katie Leclerc and Justin Osborne and Becky in the 4-4 and someone in Spain in the 3-4 and the 920 and the 816 and the 205 and the 818 and everybody who's been texting in today and tweeting and supporting the show. I am Brett, and I'm reminding all of you to be kind and take care of each other. We will see you on Monday for another edition of the Brett Davern Show. But for now, good night and be
That's all for the Brett Davern Show this week, but fear not. Brett and Katie will be back live Monday morning on iDoby Radio, starting at 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific.